Hey guys, it's Miss Arlequin, and in this video we are going to be looking at the questions that come from the test passage, The Sea Turtle's Built-in Compass. This passage was found on the 2014 New York State ELA exam for the 6th grade. We're going to go directly to the questions. If you would like to hear the passage read, that is a separate video located on my channel. All right, let's start with question number 1. Which detail is most helpful for understanding the central idea of the article? All right, so since this is a central idea question, you have to figure out what the central idea is first before you can choose an answer and say what detail would best support it. So when I think back to the title, remember titles are always an important clue for central idea. This article is called The Sea Turtle's Built-in Compass. And then when I compare that to what most of the article was about, I know that this article was about turtles and their built-in compass. So I would say the central idea is that loggerhead turtles navigate or find their way using their built-in magnetic compass. Now, what detail would actually prove that this is true? That's going to be my answer choice. Loggerhead turtles hatch in eastern Florida. All right, that shows where they're born. It does not show them finding their way around, so I'm going to eliminate it. Loggerhead turtles prefer to feed in warm waters. Again, this is about them feeding. It's not about them navigating. Scientists are interested in protecting animal habitats. All right, wanting to protect where they live really has nothing to do with their navigation. And so I'm only left with D, but let me make sure D really does make sense. Scientists have studied how different animals navigate. Yeah, that does actually match what I figured out the central idea to be. All right, on to question 2. Why are lines 9 through 13 important to the article? So obviously, since it's asking me to look at a specific set of lines, I have to go back and reread it. When they want to know why something is important to the article, what they're really asking you to do is to talk about the effect. What do they make you think, or what do you learn from those lines? And it should always be kind of connected to the central idea. So what does this paragraph have to do with developing the central idea? What important piece of information do you actually learn from this paragraph? Loggerheads also seem to have a good memory for places, even for places they've just seen just once. Each female will lay eggs only on the beach where she's born, even if she hasn't returned since she hatched. Each year she goes back to the same beach. All right, she always goes back to that same beach, which means that a baby loggerhead must figure out exactly where it is from the moment it hatches. So this is really explaining to me why they need to be able to navigate. If they can't get back to that original beach, they're not really going to be able to lay their eggs in the proper place. So knowing how to navigate is very, very important for these turtles. All right, answer choice A is they show how the turtles hatch eggs. Well, that's true. All right, I'm not going to eliminate that yet. They show the types of beaches turtles prefer. Well, it's not the types of beaches, it's one particular beach. For every turtle, it might be different. It's whatever beach they were born on, so that's not really accurate. They explain why the turtles travel long distances. Well, nobody actually says that it's a long distance. Maybe the turtle's only going to be swimming around the area of their beach and they won't have far to go. They explain why the turtle's sense of direction is so important. All right, this is obviously the answer. It's exactly what I figured out when I went back into the paragraph. So even though I was mildly tempted by answer choice A, and if I actually think back now that I look, how the turtles hatch their egg, no, it doesn't explain how. It actually talks about turtles hatching eggs, but not the specific ways or how they do it. So I could have even eliminated that if I thought it through. D is the best choice. All right, why do loggerhead hatchlings have to learn differently from the way many other animals learn? All right, so if I go back into the text, I want to look for parts where they talk about the loggerheads learning differently, or even just them talking about loggerheads learning. When I go back into the text, I find it from lines 25 through 27, also lines 5 and 6, and then lines 12 and 13. A difference between other animals and loggerheads, though, is the way they learn to use their magnetic sense. Young whales, honeybees, and birds can learn from adults. Loggerheads are abandoned. All right, so they can't learn from adults. A loggerhead sea turtle could. It's born with a magnetic sense to tell how it finds its way from any. All right, so that doesn't really show a difference. It's really actually this first group of lines that I found, 25 through 27. So I'm going to go and try to find the answer choice that best matches. They hatch when it's dark outside. No, doesn't say that. They do not have adults to teach them. Yes, that's exactly what I found. They do not live completely on land. That's not relevant. They depend on their surroundings. Yes, that is true about the turtles, but that's not the difference between the turtles and the other animals. So the best answer choice is B. What we really see here is that as long as you go and you find your text evidence, you're going to come up with the correct answer. All right, next question. Scientists conducted experiments to track the movements of baby turtles because they, A, all right, I'm not even going to read the answer choices yet. I want to go back into the text and find text evidence. Text evidence is the most important thing for me. So what I'm looking for is the reason why, because I see because. Why did scientists conduct experiments to track movements of baby turtles? So where do they describe these experiments and where can I see the reason why? When I go back in, I find that lines 43 through 46 and then lines 53 and 54 talk about these experiments. So again, my key is why. Why did they do these experiments? At first, the hatchlings swam toward the light no matter where it was. Scientists turned off the light. The turtles who saw the light in the east always swam east, and the turtles who saw the light in the west swam west. If they changed the magnetic field, they always swam east. So from this experiment, what did the scientists learn? They learned how the compass works. These experiments showed that loggerheads use cues from the outside world to set their magnetic sense. This is what the scientists were trying to learn, and this is what the experiment ultimately showed. It showed them the basics of how loggerheads find their way around the world. So why did they do it? They wanted to study how quickly turtles learn new behavior? No. We're hoping to recreate turtle territories in a laboratory? No. Again, they're studying the sense of direction. They were hoping to discover where turtles hatch? No, they know that already. They wanted to learn how turtles react to light? Yes. They wanted to see how the light was related to the compass and setting their compass. So the correct answer is D. All right, next question. According to the article, how might humans threaten loggerhead turtle survival in the wild? All right, so I need to find a part that describes humans and what humans are doing to threaten the loggerhead turtles. All right, so when I go back into the text, I find that it is really the second page of the passage towards the end of the article that has any evidence about humans. Loehmann's work has led others to protect, if you're only protecting something if there is a threat to their survival. What's threatening them? The bright boardwalk. All right, that is from humans because we create boardwalks. The lights from the boardwalk are confusing the turtles, and if they're confused, their magnetic sense may be warped forever. They hatch only at night. Again, this is more evidence that the light from the boardwalk could confuse them. And if they don't get quickly out to sea where they can find food, that's what they need the light for, so that they can go out and find food. If they are attracted to the light of the boardwalk, they're going to go in the wrong way. They're not going to find food. At first, the hatchlings swim toward the light. All right, so this is part of the experiment. This actually shows why light is so important. So they need the natural light, not the artificial light that humans are creating. A, creating artificial magnetic fields. No. Building bright structures near the ocean. Yeah, a boardwalk is a bright structure. By preventing turtles from returning to their eggs. No. This is about when the babies are first born, because that's when their magnetic sense actually gets created. So it's not about the laying of the eggs. Now this is a very tempting answer for anybody who has prior knowledge about turtles. People are actually disrupting by the creation of structures on the beach that could prevent turtles from having a place to lay their eggs, but that's not in the article. That's just my prior knowledge. By removing baby turtles from their natural habitat. No, that's not true. B matches the text evidence. Once again, we see that text evidence is key. All right, next question. What is the author's main purpose for including Dr. Loehmann's work? All right, so Dr. Loehmann was the one who ran the experiments with light and baby turtles and discovered how important light was to setting the turtle's compass. Does it explain to readers how turtles behave in captivity? No. To show how Dr. Loehmann conducts his experiments. Who cares? That's not the central idea of the article. It might show us how he conducted his experiments, but that's not the main purpose. Remember, the whole article is about how the turtles navigate with their built-in compass. So everything has to show that central idea. To highlight the important role of environment on turtles. No, because they weren't using environment, they were just using light. To describe the influence Dr. Loehmann has on the scientific community. All right, that's not right either. So I'm going to have to go back and actually rethink one of my eliminated answers. Sometimes this happens, which is why when you use process of elimination, you have to make sure that the last answer that's left really is the correct answer. This has nothing to do with central idea. It can't be the correct answer. Again, the captivity is just for the experiment. That was not the point of this article, so I'm sticking with eliminating A. To show how Dr. Loehmann conducts his experiments, again, that is not related to central idea. I'm going to rethink C. Highlight the important role of environment on turtles. When I first read this, I was thinking environment meant nature. However, if I think about it, light is from the environment. We're talking about the light of the moon and the light of the sun. That is the light that the turtles in the natural environment would be seeing when they set their compass. When Dr. Loehmann ran his experiment, sure, he was using artificial light, but the artificial light was actually just supposed to mimic the light of the moon, and the light of the moon is what the turtles would be following and would then use to set their compass. So I now, after rethinking, think that C is the correct answer. So I really hope that this question and the way I thought it through shows you how important process of elimination is, but also making sure that you haven't eliminated something for the wrong reason, which is exactly what I did with the correct answer for this question. All right, our final question. Which statement from the article best represents a central idea? So we know what the central idea is. We figured it out at the beginning of our practice. That loggerhead turtles have a built-in compass. It's magnetic. It uses Earth's magnets, and it helps them find their way. Okay. So which statement? All right. So when we are looking for a statement, we're really talking about a detail from the article. It has to be a detail that proves that my central idea statement is true. It has to show the turtles using magnets to navigate. It's born with a magnetic sense that tells how to find its way from any place on Earth. Sounds almost exactly like the central idea. Loggerheads also seem to have a good memory for places, even for places they have seen just once before. All right, it's tempting, a memory for places, but that's not about the built-in magnet. I could have a good memory for places, but I'm not using my magnetic sense to find my way around. In the wild, swimming west would take them the wrong way, away from the ocean. This proves how important the light is to navigating. This is part of the experiment, but it's not really showing central idea. And then finally, Loehmann is working to find other factors that are important in helping sea turtles find their way around the world. Well, who cares about other factors? The point of this article was about one factor, light and the magnetic sense. So this cannot be the answer. It is answer choice A.